Hello, everyone. So, today is the question of all questions. That's what we're going to tackle. The question of all questions. Does God exist? All right. So, in order to even begin to answer this question, first you have to establish two parts of that question. Namely, what do you mean by God? And perhaps less so, what do you mean by exist? Okay, so let's start with the word God. What do you mean by God? There's different definitions of what God is. Perhaps the most common one is God is the creator of the universe. You know, everything, quote unquote. All right, but then you get into another problem. What do you mean by universe? Do you mean the complete totality of all that exists? Or do you mean that only everything that us humans can interact with, galaxies and stars and planets and moons and all that kind of stuff, but not different potential, say, realms or dimensions. Maybe there are multiple universes. So, what do you mean by God? So, for the sake of this discussion, let's just say that God is the creator of, say, our known universe. No kind of hidden dimensions or realms or whatever, just your standard, the Milky Way galaxy, everything in it, galaxies around that, and everything that we could see that we kind of know about. Was there a creator to all of that? Okay, is there that definition of God? Now, into the what do you mean by exists? Okay, this gets a little bit more complicated because it's like, okay, well, what do you mean by exist? Kind of in the Christian doctrine, think of God as kind of like a person, like an entity, like a thing. And so, is that what you mean by exist? That it's something, that can manifest into human form and all this kind of stuff? Or is God something that exists, say, outside of our universe, or is just, a fundamental part of it? Okay, so that's kind of a more of a minor question. But in general, there's this being. Is there this being that created our, basically all of our galaxies and stuff like that? Whether they're tangible or not, I guess it's kind of trivial, but so does that being exist? Okay, so now we get into the question: does God exist? All right. The next problem is, what if there is multiple creators? All right, so think of like a video game. Video game is kind of like its own universe with its own physics, and you know uh, it's unto itself. Say Super Mario. Super Mario is one of the most popular video games ever, so most people should know it. um, Say you're the little Super Mario guy in his little world, running and jumping around, right? All right, that's all he can do. The little Super Mario guy, he's stuck in his little universe there. He go left to right, up or down. But Super Mario can't come into our universe. Equally so, we can't, me, human, I can't jump into the TV and go into the Super Mario world. And again, he can't come back. Okay, so it's kind of like a universe, in a sense, for the sake of this video, anyhow, right? All right, but in saying that, there's not just one creator of Super Mario Bros. There's a lot of creators of Super Mario Bros. Okay, so are they all gods in that sense? Okay, I'm just using this as an example. We're not getting into Super Mario, right? But just to use this as an example, imagine our universe is kind of like the Super Mario world, where maybe it has multiple intelligent designers. Um, And are these intelligent designers, are they just very, very evolved beings? Something, that this is where we get into the word, what is God and exist and all that kind of stuff. Maybe they're, like an alien, basically, right? But super, super, super evolved alien to where they could create their own universes, kind of like we create video games. Not saying our universe is a video game. That's the simulation theory. That's a whole different thing. That's not what I'm getting into. I'm just saying, say there's beings that are so advanced that could create a universe. Okay. First of all, would that even fall under your definition of what God is? Say they exist they are tangible, and they exist somewhere outside the realm of our universe, but they are the creators of it, or maybe there is only one creator of it. Would that be a god? All right. So you get into these weird. This is the problem. The problem is within the question. It's like it just goes into more questions. It's like I said, what do you mean by God? And what if the one or the ones who created our universe are just super advanced beings that know how to create universes? Is that what you would consider God? Is that still worship worthy? Say you found that out. Say you're a Christian or Muslim or whatever, and you found out that the creator of our universe was just a super sophisticated being. Would you still think of that being the same, where you need to follow their laws and rules and or whatever? You're like, wait a minute, you're just really, really smart, which is great, but you're not the God that I thought you were. And maybe there is a larger God that's the creator of them, maybe that they don't know about. And so this is the problem with this question. This is the big problem with this question. And unfortunately, I don't have an answer. Obviously, I don't. Nobody has an answer. No, some people claim, yeah, I do know God exists, or I do know that God does not exist. The atheist stance, but you don't. You don't even. Again, you don't even know what you mean by your question. Majority of people don't even know what they mean by their question. And so if you can't even get the basics of your question, answer the basics of your question, well, again, what is God? What do you mean by the universe? Then you can't answer the question as a whole. So that's my answer, if God exists.